History of British poetry. The history of British poetry is vast and spans many centuries, featuring diverse styles, themes, and movements. Here's a brief overview. 1. Old English poetry, c. 450-1066. Characterized by epic poems such as Beowulf, which reflects the heroic and pagan traditions of the Anglo-Saxons. Influenced by oral traditions and often anonymous. 2. Middle English poetry, 1066 to 1500. The Middle English period saw the development of Chaucerian poetry, with Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales being a significant work. Religious poetry, including works like Pearl and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, also flourished. 3. Renaissance poetry, 16th century. The Renaissance marked the revival of classical learning and humanism. Sir Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, introduced the sonnet form to English poetry. Christopher Marlowe and William Shakespeare were prominent playwrights whose works often included poetic elements. 4. Elizabethan and Jacobean poetry, late 16th to early 17th century. A golden age for English literature. Edmund Spenser's The Faerie Queene is a significant epic poem. The emergence of metaphysical poets, including John Donne and George Herbert, explored complex themes using intellectual and elaborate conceits. 5. Cavalier and metaphysical poetry, 17th century. As mentioned earlier, Cavalier poets celebrated courtly love and loyalty, while metaphysical poets engaged in an intellectual and often complex exploration of emotions and ideas. 6. Restoration poetry, 17th century. After the English Civil War and the Puritan rule, the monarchy was restored, and literature saw a shift. John Dryden, a prominent figure, wrote satirical and reflective poetry. 7. Augustan Age, 18th century. Characterized by neoclassical ideals and an emphasis on reason and order. Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock and Jonathan Swift's satirical poetry are notable. 8. Romantic poetry, late 18th to early 19th century. Emphasized emotion, nature, and individualism. Key poets include William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Lord Byron, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and John Keats. 9. Victorian poetry, 19th century. Reflecting the social and industrial changes of the time, major poets include Alfred Lord Tennyson, Robert Browning, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, and Christina Rossetti. 10. Modernist poetry, early 20th century. Marked by experimentation, fragmentation, and a departure from traditional forms. T.S. Eliot, W.B. Yeats, and Ezra Pound are significant figures. 11. Contemporary poetry, mid-20th century onwards. Diverse styles and movements, including the Beat Generation, confessional poetry, and the rise of spoken word and performance poetry. Notable poets include Sylvia Plath, Ted Hughes, Seamus Heaney, Carroll and Duffy, and many others. The history of British poetry continues to evolve, reflecting the changing cultural, social, and political landscape of the times. Various movements and individual poets contribute to the rich tapestry of British poetic tradition.